Hello, I'm Timtai Kirui. Good news today to the conversation watchers. You or someone you know has an opportunity to participate in this year's ASHDEN Awards with an opportunity to go home with a whopping 2 million shillings.
Our land is burning and our homes are flooding. The air we breathe is killing us. People are losing their jobs. Climate disruption is our reality now. And it's hitting the most vulnerable hardest. It's time to clean up our act.
There is a kicker though. ASHDEN Awards honor a specific project, program, product or service that accelerate transformative climate solution and build a more just world.
ASHDEN has scoured the globe to find the frontrunners in the race to halt the climate crisis and create a fairer world. It's time to put people and the planet first. These are the people across the world already taking rapid action to halt the climate crisis. They're the frontrunners in the climate decade. They're showing us a new way, a way to build back better. Together, we're taking on the world's most urgent threat, the climate crisis. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves and take action. Will you join us?
In order for you to learn more about this award and whether you qualify for an entry level, I had a digital conversation with the CEO of ASHDEN Awards, Harriet Lamb, all the way from UK. Also got a chance to speak with two Kenyan-based companies that have won the award in the previous years to learn more about the experience participating and winning the ASHDEN Award and how that transformed their businesses. In our first part of our conversation today, we speak to ASHDEN Awards CEO Harriet Lamb, and someone else who will be joining in the conversation is Peter Scott, the CEO and founder of Burn Manufacturing. Would you care to speak a little bit more about what you're doing in Dadaab refugee camp?
Yes, well, this year the ASHDEN Awards has 4 awards. So one of them is around innovation in helping people have access to energy. And another one is about enabling us to particularly reach refugees and people who've been displaced. As you'll know, we have more people globally who are refugees now than ever before. 80 million people are now refugees, including, of course, very many within Kenya and within East Africa. And people in refugee camps are, of course, in the worst position of all. 90% don't have any access to energy or to electricity. And so they have to go and they're having to buy kerosene or diesel from traders coming, and often they're spending a quarter of their tiny income on fuel. And so that's an example from a Dadaab refugee camp where people have no choice but to spend so much of their money on fuel. So we're looking for really interesting innovations with people working with refugees and displaced people to help them have clean energy, to have access to clean energy, and hopefully in a way that they themselves can earn an income. And so to give you an example, we ran this Refugee Energy Award last year, and the winner was an amazing project from Yemen, where women had formed a little cooperative and they owned the solar pumps in the village, and they were able to sell energy to the village. That meant they were earning an income and that they as women felt empowered. And it also meant, of course, it was clean energy that continued. They didn't have to rely on the traders coming to the village. So we're looking for initiatives like that. And I hope that people across Kenya who've got an exciting innovation on bringing energy into the rural areas, including into refugee camps, will have a look at our awards and consider applying. There are so many ways in so many of us all contribute towards climate change. And one of those factors is people cutting down trees for firewood, not because they want to, but because they have no other choice and they've got to cook their food at night. And indeed, globally, 770 million people have no access to electricity and are forced then to cut trees to do that. And we think actually because of COVID, those numbers are probably rising last year. And so the companies that are able to provide people with more efficient ways of cooking, whether it might be just a more efficient stove so it uses much less charcoal or it uses much less wood, is of course then helping reduce that deforestation. Or indeed, there are people who have come up with schemes that help use solar energy for people to cook on. All these different ways to help bring affordable solutions within the reach of people who are currently having to, through no fault of their own, they're having to cut down trees.
In sub-Saharan Africa, the simple act of cooking is bankrupting families, damaging their health, and destroying forests. In 2011, our team set out to achieve one simple thing: to save lives and forests by revolutionizing the global cook stove sector. Since then, we have manufactured hundreds of thousands of cook stoves in Kenya, and these stoves have transformed the lives of millions of people.
So I do understand you're the CEO of Burn Manufacturing.
Yeah, right. I'm the CEO and founder. So I founded it in 2010 in the US.
Oh, interesting. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about the company?
Sure. Well, I worked in the clean Jiko or clean cook stove space for over 25 years, trying to save the forests of Africa by bringing fuel-efficient cook stoves or Jikos to the continent. So I did that as a consultant for many years, and then in 2010 I started Burn, designed the world's most fuel-efficient cook stoves, and then to locally manufacture them. So Burn. Now we have our operation in Riru. We employ about 400 people. We make about 25,000 Jikos each month. We have about 5,000 square meters of space. And we do all of the R&D, all of the sales, marketing, all of that distribution is all done out of this one operation. So there's really nothing else like it in the world. There's no one who's, building super fuel efficient modern Jikos, which is, and we're now expanding to not just make stoves that burn makaa or kuni, but also electric stoves, electric pressure cookers, LPG stoves, institutional stoves, commercial stoves. There's a whole range of products that we make. I don't think ASHDEN's not interested in things that are theoretically interesting. They need to be actually buildable, scalable, practical. So, I mean, yeah, if you only have a concept, then I don't think that, that's not suitable. You'd have to have built something and it's already being used and proven on the ground.
Well, the ASHDEN Awards were launched 20 years ago now to help put the spotlight on those people who are really innovating about how can we tackle climate change, but also how can we help ensure that people who still don't have access to electricity do get access to energy for the first time. And so the aim is to put the spotlight on those innovators doing really exciting work so that they can scale up and grow, or that others can steal their ideas with pride and help ensure more people have access to clean, renewable energy.
So the ASHDEN Awards gives out awards for technologies that are improving the environment and improving people's lives. And so, I won an ASHDEN Award in 2005 for doing institutional cook stoves in Malawi, and then we won another one as Burn in 2015. And it's great to get acknowledgement from certain bodies in the world to validate what we're doing.
Well, another very interesting idea we want to really focus on is people. They can be community initiatives, it could be a voluntary organization, it could be a company who's finding interesting ways to help cool down informal settlements. Now, as you know, people who are living in tiny little houses, they formed these informal settlements on the outskirts of cities. Often as temperature rises, it gets dangerously hot in those small houses. And so we're looking for people who've got bright ideas about how can you bring down the temperature. Obviously, people can't afford to have air conditioning, and air conditioning also adds to global warming. So what are other new ways that people have got that can help bring the temperature down? I'll give you one example. We know some organizations working in informal settlements in India where they painted the roofs, the corrugated iron roofs, they painted them white. That alone helped bring down the temperature. Someone else had an idea about building in slightly different ways to help get more draft to come through the homes. That was another innovation we've heard about. So we're looking for organizations that have got the bright ideas about the future for cooling in informal settlements.
It is time for us to take a short break. When we come back, we'll hear from Kenya Kimathi from Future Pump, the ASHDEN Award winner from Kenya in 2017.